Welcome, everybody, to TechSoup. Welcome to the new member orientation, and hopefully, we're going to answer your questions. I'm going to show you how you can engage on the next slide. I know many of you have been attending some of our free webinars, and Grace says this is their first class. Oh my God. And they call it a class. This is going to be a class too, because there's going to be a lot of information. So you can take notes, but we're going to send you the video replay and the slides later today. If you need the closed caption, go ahead and click on the CC button at the bottom of your screen. Feel free to ask your question in the chat, and you can also use the Q&A section. We have several members here at TechSoup that can answer your question. Going to ask you to do me one favor before I turn this over to Nick. There's going to be a question, actually a survey that's going to pop up. It's just two simple questions. Let us know what other topics you would love to hear, and I would greatly appreciate you filling that survey out. I'm going to turn this over to Nick Finn, and he's going to take us in. Have a great webinar, guys.
Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for coming today. Appreciate you spending some of your time with us. You've already met the wonderful Aretha Simons. My name is Nick Finn. I'm the head of global growth marketing at TechSoup. We're also joined today by Kevin Mulhall and Kelly Garrett, who you'll meet later on during the session. But without much delay, I'm going to get straight into it. What is TechSoup? Um, and for starters, like you, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We exist globally, meaning that we're not just like a US or a California-based organization. We work in hundreds of countries around the world, in fact. Um, and we support nonprofits working with technology to help build a more equitable planet. So we are a nonprofit, and our mission is very centrally focused on helping other nonprofits who need help as they try to work with technology to do better with their operations, to further their mission, to fundraise better, all the things that tech can really help you with. One of the ways we do this is we host a catalog of affordable technology products from major brands like Microsoft, Dell, Intuit, Adobe, and many more. Um, uh, these corporations often have philanthropic offers where they give nonprofits a discounted or donated pricing on technology products, and we try to make that more accessible to nonprofits. Um, we offer numerous services to help nonprofits manage their technology stack. We're going to talk more about that. But beyond just getting tech from us, you can also get support services to help you use it properly, implement it properly. We also create educational resources to help nonprofit staff build their tech skills and expertise. And like many of you on this call, we also deliver our own grant-based programming, and in our case, focused on helping civil society to use technology. So as you can see, like a true nonprofit, we wear a lot of different hats. We do a lot of different things. But I think what's most important out of all of it is we're very focused on helping the civil society sector use technology to make the planet a more equitable place. Um, so let's talk about some key terms at TechSoup that matter. Let's first talk about this notion of qualified. So to use the TechSoup catalog, you must submit to us some paperwork that verifies your organization is a 501c3 nonprofit organization, right? Because the offers in the TechSoup catalog are limited only to nonprofits. Unlike most sites where you go to spend money in the world, we cannot provide the products that we support to just anyone. You have to be a nonprofit to use them. So that's what it means when you're qualified with us. We know that you're a nonprofit and we can work with you. The second term to know about is called eligibility. Eligibility is something that matters for specific products because some of the products in our catalog have more restrictions than other products in our catalog. And we'll talk more about that later on in the session here. But eligibility is whether or not your specific nonprofit is eligible to get a specific offer from TechSoup. It'll make more sense in a little bit. Civil society, you've heard me already mention. Not everybody has a common understanding of that term, but really what we're talking about is the change makers, the do-gooders around the world who are working in nonprofits and in charities and other non-governmental organizations. So, like, not the business world, not the government world, but a different world, civil society, right? The people who are trying to really help the world, help our local communities. Digital transformation is another term you'll hear in the TechSoup sphere and more broadly across the tech sphere. Um, it sounds huge, and it is, but really what it means, and most of us are there already, is the notion of just embracing digital technology as a tool that can enable and improve your nonprofit's functions and program delivery, right? So it's, working with technology versus outright rejecting it all because it can be a very powerful tool. Digital resilience is another term you'll hear in this sphere. And what that is about is ensuring your nonprofit and your nonprofit's tech can quickly respond, adapt, and continue to serve during some kind of external disruption or crisis. Those could be anything. A lot of them are weather related. We lose power, we lose electricity, we lose internet access. Um, you want to make sure that you've got some basic infrastructure that is still functional. And so that's the notion of digital resilience. So let's get into it with the TechSoup catalog that I mentioned at the start, where we host offers from various technology companies around the world. And we provide these to nonprofits in a catalog format so that you can find the things that would be helpful to your nonprofit without needing to spend your entire day in Google search trying to search for every single offer that's out there hosted individually on different corporate sites. So, the TechSoup catalog is available from two places. You'll see on our website, there's this product catalog link at the top, and then there's a browse catalog button right in the middle. And that takes you to the TechSoup catalog. Let's talk about some specific things that a lot of nonprofits find when they go there. The first is products from Microsoft, right? Microsoft is one of TechSoup's oldest, most trusted corporate partners. We've been working with them for decades now to support nonprofits in the US and around the world to help civil society use Microsoft products. And there's a lot of stuff you can get from Microsoft through TechSoup. What most folks look at these days is Microsoft 365, which is the modern cloud-based version of those old familiar Microsoft Office products, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that kind of thing. Of course, the cloud version is much more sophisticated, continuously updated, more secure. Definitely the place where you want to be if you're thinking about issues like digital resilience, because it's all in the cloud. And you don't have to worry about whether or not the local machine you're working on just broke or is no longer accessible to you for some reason. Microsoft products are available through TechSoup, through the TechSoup catalog, and you will get a copy of this deck after the session is over. And these are live links. You can click on that Microsoft slide. It'll take you straight to the Microsoft section of the TechSoup website. Another brand that TechSoup has worked with for a long time is Adobe. You know them as the creators of Adobe Creative Cloud, probably, especially if you work in communications or design or maybe web design. Adobe products really have been very central to the whole digital experience and the visual of what you see on the screen. Um, the latest thing from Adobe these days is called Adobe Express. It is a more streamlined version of those kind of creative applications. It's great for folks who are perhaps doing social media. It lets you do things very quickly and intuitively without having to be an expert in how to use graphic design programs. And then another big brand that a lot of nonprofits come to TechSoup for straight away is Intuit QuickBooks. We know that paper and pencil accounting systems for nonprofits really should be a thing of the past. You need to have a digital accounting solution. Hopefully, everybody has that at least. But maybe not just doing it in a spreadsheet anymore, but relying on a more professional platform like QuickBooks is a great step for nonprofits out there. And so a lot of folks come and get into it QuickBooks from TechSoup, and that's what they rely on to manage their nonprofits' finances. There are a whole lot of other brands in that catalog, by the way. I just highlighted three of the most popular at the front end. There are these, and there are many others. Um, and probably the best thing to do is just encourage you to go check out that catalog, take a look at whether there are some items in there that might be helpful to your nonprofit. That's kind of the point of us having that catalog, is so that you can easily search for these things and find the products and the technologies that might be helpful for your nonprofit. Now, in particular, there's one section of the TechSoup catalog I haven't mentioned yet, which is that we do provide access to affordable hardware options for nonprofits. To see the hardware available from TechSoup, you have to go to the product catalog, and then you can click on this link here on the left for hardware. And we can talk about some of the hardware options that are available through TechSoup. I'm going to click here and it's going to take us straight to the live website and give it a second here to load up. And you can just quickly see some of the things that are available. So there's mobile devices that includes things like Apple Watches and iPhones, iPads. We have access to desktops and laptops from a variety of different vendors. Here you're seeing some Microsoft stuff. We also work with Dell, we work with Lenovo, we work with HP. Monitors are also available through TechSoup. Lots of networking equipment is available as well. And then just an ongoing set of whatever the latest hardware needs are. We do a lot of work with Cisco, and thousands of nonprofits use Cisco devices. Um, and in any case, even printers and these small office items that you're used to seeing when you've got folks who need to do, especially telecommunications off a computer. Anyway, these are all available through TechSoup. And again, you need to be qualified with TechSoup and demonstrated that you are indeed a 501c3 nonprofit, and then you'd be able to access the catalog and take a look at those items. Um, but one thing that TechSoup has really learned over the decades we've been serving nonprofits is that really acquiring a technology product is really just the start of a kind of a longer journey. Um, as soon as you have it, now you're faced with questions of, am I using the right license? Am I deploying this technology correctly? Do I need to think about security issues around it? How do I manage? How do I train my staff to use this? And so TechSoup over the years has started developing a series of services that are available to nonprofits to help you with choosing, managing, and training folks around the technology stack that your nonprofit needs to use. So I'm going to touch on some of these, and I will say in January, you'll see in this presentation today, I'm giving you some screenshots from the website. In January, we will be making some updates to the navigation. So if you come back in January, you'll probably see a cleaner, more intuitive experience, but it won't look exactly like this. Um, in any case, to go through some of these service options, I want to highlight a few. We're going to go to the live site here and go straight into this services drop down right here. When I click on that, what we're looking at right now is the services overview page, which is kind of a collection of some of the most popular areas that nonprofits engage with TechSoup services team. We know right off the bat that, a website is pretty much your most important communications vehicle for nonprofits these days. You may also do some email, you may do some advertising, but your website is the first place people go if they want to learn more about you and don't know much about you. At the same time, almost no nonprofit I've met has ever told me, oh, our website is perfect and does everything that we need. Most folks are always thinking about how their site could be better. And so over time, we've developed a whole set of different website services. And so if your nonprofit is in that mode of thinking right now, I'd encourage you to reach out to TechSoup and talk about it. I want to be clear that these are not free services. These services also cost money, but you're working with an organization and vendors who specifically serve the nonprofit industry. And so we know a lot about how 501(c)(3)s need to manage funds and what they need out of their websites, et cetera. Another really popular service through TechSoup is called Managed IT. Managed IT is a contractual service with TechSoup where we take on the role of managing your tech infrastructure. This is great for nonprofits who don't have a dedicated IT staff person on board. And even in most cases, for a small nonprofit, if you do have an IT person on board, they're not dedicated. They're probably spread across two or three other projects at the same time. So, managed IT services from TechSoup are a great way to think about sort of closing that gap if you've got some needs that you just don't have the staff to meet. Um, Another really popular service for us is the QuickBooks migration service. I mentioned access to Intuit QuickBooks as we looked at the catalog, but again, just because you get Intuit QuickBooks doesn't mean that the process of moving your legacy records into QuickBooks is like the easiest thing. You may well have the technical skill to do it, in which case, great, do it. But if you need help, you can come to TechSoup and we can help you with that. There are a whole lot of other services worth just briefly mentioning here that are in front of us. We do a lot of stuff around cybersecurity training. Security and digital security are just every year more and more important for nonprofits because nonprofits honestly don't have the financial infrastructure to keep everything up to date all the time. It makes us vulnerable. And so when bad actors are out there poking around, it's an unfortunate truth that nonprofits in particular can be the subject of these kinds of malware attacks. And so we've got to spend as much time as expertise as we can training staff, board members, volunteers, how to be digitally secure. Don't click on that link if you don't know what it is. Look at who the email is from. Don't get phished, all those kinds of things. Sometimes nonprofits really do need to have an outreach or marketing strategy. And really, these days, that's entirely digital, right? Nobody's really doing a lot of print anymore. There's some exceptions there, and I've worked in the print industry in the past too, but digital is really what everybody does these days. But if you need help developing that digital marketing strategy, we have services to support you with that. Maybe you're working with Google Ad Grants already. And if you are, you know that it's extremely rare that you're able to use your entire allotment each month. And that's how that Google Ad Grant works. Um, our Google Ad Grant service can help you do better with your Google Ad Grant. And if you've also got some implementation issues you need help with, we can help you with that. Um, Anyway, as you can see, on and on, moving to Google Analytics, setting up HubSpot. HubSpot's a really powerful, great outbound marketing platform, and we use it at TechSoup. Lots of other nonprofits adopt it. We have a service to help you adopt it properly if that's something you're doing. Um, Anyway, as you can see, there's a whole lot of TechSoup services available to nonprofits through us. I'd encourage you again to take a look at that site, see if there's something in there that you specifically need help with. And I think what is also true, as I can see folks chatting right now in the webinar itself, that even if you come to TechSoup with a need that is not like specific to this service, what you will find is helpful people who are very much committed to supporting you and finding the solution to whatever that issue is. And if it's something that we can help you with, we really will do that. I want to call out one of the items in that services drop-down menu called TechSoup Boost. TechSoup Boost is one of our membership levels. TechSoup is moving into a membership model that is different than what has been in the past. These days, we have three membership levels that are worth highlighting. There's a DIY membership level, do-it-yourself membership. There is a Boost membership, which is what I have on the screen, and then we have a Quad membership level. The Boost membership level is $99 for a year. And what it does is provide your nonprofit access to sort of some extra savings opportunities. We're trying to put in Boost the limited offer items that come TechSoup's way here and there. And we're also trying to thread into Boost content to help nonprofits make decisions about which platform they might want to use for a particular purpose. You know, perhaps you've concluded your nonprofit really does need a CRM, right? A customer relationship management database. But maybe you're an executive director who's an expert in the mission area of your nonprofit, but you are not an expert in CRMs and you need help figuring out how they work, what they do, and which ones are even an option. What we're trying to do in Boost is start building out content there to help you make those kinds of decisions. Um, The other membership level after Boost is Quad, which is $200 a year for a nonprofit. And in Quad, you kind of get the full community content immersion that TechSoup is really striving toward. That's where you can find other nonprofits engage with TechSoup in conversation, maybe working in the same mission area as you, having the same needs, the same questions. There's a space in Quad where you can, excuse me, there's space in Quad where you can find nonprofit leaders from different parts of the country talking together about their common need and experience. So the community element of Quad is where the real growth is right now. But that's another membership level. I also want to call out something called TechSoup Consultant Connection, which is a service that we offer where other consultants, not necessarily nonprofit consultants, but consultants who serve nonprofits, right? Uh, they can come and sign up with this service, and it's a way to help nonprofits find consultants who know more specifically how to serve nonprofits. For instance, I'm thinking about fundraising in particular. That's a place where there's always a lot of help, a lot of need there. Um, we have a domain names for nonprofit service. I actually think this might be going away soon because lots of nonprofits actually do seem able to handle the domain registration piece of it. But if it's not, if it's something you need support with and aren't comfortable doing it, I think we still do have that service in the catalog at the moment. Um, at the end of the day, there's a whole lot of different technology solutions available through TechSoup, from the products in the catalog to the services, the hardware piece of it. Um, and all of it is really designed after 30 years of TechSoup serving in this interface role between the civil society, nonprofit sector, and the tech industry itself. Um, it's all there because we do know that tech can be a profoundly powerful tool for NGOs and nonprofits, but because nonprofits, almost by definition, also exist in a more resource scarce environment, they need more help working with tech than maybe a standard business that can actually just invest a lot of money in it. Um, Up next, I'm going to bring to the front Kelly Garrett, who is a wonderful colleague here at TechSoup. She is part of the account management group or client services. Kelly's team helps you manage your relationship with TechSoup. And I want to be super clear, that is different than helping you manage Intuit QuickBooks or Adobe Acrobat or Microsoft. They are not help desk for products, but they are here to help you with your relationship with TechSoup itself. So, Kelly, take it away.
Thanks so much, Nick. Appreciate that. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. Going to get into a couple things here that I think will help you navigate our website and work with TechSoup a little smoother. So, one thing right off the bat, I do like to point out to our members is a lot of the information you're looking for when it comes to products or services is actually on the website. And there's a couple places that you can check to maybe confirm different information that you need to confirm before you request a product or service. It is important to confirm information since a lot
I
of
hear I
our,
hear a bit of lag here.
our products and services.
Sorry, folks. Stand by for a second. Let's see
We'll
if
try
that can.
turning off my
There you go.
we'll see if turning off my So I was just saying that basically you always want to be confident about the product or service that you're checking out with, since a lot of the partners that we have strict no refunds or exchange policies. It does vary per product or service, but it is something we want to make sure that you're aware of before you check out. So on the product page or the offer page, you will see there is two kinds of sets of information. One is underneath the name of the product. This is going to call out who the partner was that donated or discounted the offer, what kind of product is this. So for example, this is QuickBooks Online Plus. This is an accounting and cloud computing software, so it is showing as that's in the category. It's an online cloud product, so it's able to function on PC and Mac, so it says multiple platforms. And it also calls out, what's the availability. Limited availability means it is currently going out of stock or it's close to going out of stock, so something to keep an eye out for. Underneath that, we do always have three tabs of information on our offer pages. It always starts on the left tab, which is the description. You'll want to scroll down that page, make sure you read everything to confirm that you're getting the correct product and it is how it's going to function the way you expect it to. Our middle tab is usually where we have subscription information or system requirements. So that's a great important tab to click on too for more detailed information. For example, we do have some products that have access to discounted rates listed in the name. That means that you're going to pay TechSoup a small admin fee so that we can facilitate you accessing a discount. And those discounted rates are usually broken down in that middle tab there. You'll also see that there's some additional services. So for example, that QuickBooks data migration support service is listed right there that you can just automatically add that to the cart when you add your QuickBooks Online. So you just can get going right away with getting the support that you're going to need once everything is fulfilled by TechSoup. Next slide, please. Perfect. So that's that middle tab that I was talking about that has all of that great information. For this one, since it's a subscription product that you will renew through TechSoup every year, you'll see a start date called out. How you're going to renew is next to continuing services after 1 year. You also see the system requirements linked at the top there. So again, really recommend clicking through that all three tabs. The first two usually have all the product information or subscription information or discount information you're looking for. The far right tab, the rules, eligibility, and restrictions, is going to have information about why an organization may not be eligible for a product. While all 501c3 nonprofits and public libraries are eligible to join TechSoup and be members, you're not going to be eligible for every single offer that's available on the website. Our partners do let us know what types of organizations they're looking to work with. This can be organization type, budget, location, things along those lines can cause some restrictions. So it's never really a comment on what your organization's doing. It's a comment on what our partner's looking to do in the philanthropic sense. Are they focused on helping certain types of organizations? Are they looking to help only organizations with small budgets? Things along those lines. Can occur, and that far right tab is where you can definitely check to see what's going on, what kind of restrictions, is there a quantity allotment restriction, is there an eligibility restriction, things along those lines. Next slide, please. So once you've kind of looked at the product page, or say there's something else going on and you're looking for more information, I do recommend checking out our TechSoup support site. You access that by clicking on the help button at the top right of most TechSoup.org pages. It will be next to the login button, or if you are logged in, you'll see a circle with an outline of a person. And so that means that's where you can get into your My Account, and the help button will always be right next to that login or the My Account icon. Next slide, please. So once we are in here, we did just update this. So there is now also a product support section. So we have a general support, a Microsoft support, and a product support. So all three sections are broken out, so that's really easy for you to kind of navigate or get started on navigating the support that you need. We have tried to make sure that we have covered as much as we can for account management, what services are out there. We've also got, product information, like how do you renew your Zoom discounted rate? How do you renew your QuickBooks Online? Things like that. So a lot of questions are answered in here. So I do recommend typing in the search bar, clicking around the different sections and seeing if anything jumps out at you. We're constantly updating it, keeping it fresh and relevant, and making sure that we're noting different things. For example, our Office 2024 and Windows Servers 2025 products just were released. We have an article in our Microsoft support section calling out these new versions are available, when they became available, and how to access them. Next slide, please. So this is just kind of showing you an example of what you may see, different headers underneath the support section. You'll be able to click through, read the different articles, and probably be able to self-serve with some questions, answering some questions you may have. Next slide, please. So, as Nick kind of mentioned when he introduced me, and I really appreciate that introduction, Nick, it's a great description of what AMG, our account management group, does, is we support your relationship with TechSoup. So that's usually, account management, am I qualified? Am I not qualified? I don't think my eligibility is correct. I think I'm in the wrong organization type. I've checked out with this product and I can't find my fulfillment email with my registration link. Things along those lines will absolutely be able to assist you with. And we can answer some general questions about products and services. We are notified by our partners about common issues that may pop up, and if there's any, solutions for those common issues. So we may have some information to assist you with product questions or product support. But it is going to be limited. We are not IT professionals. We are partnered with many, many partners in the tech sector, and we have a lot of different offers out there that we can't become experts in every single one of them. So, something to keep in mind is that our partners are providing the same product to nonprofits as they are on the commercial or retail market. So if you've got in-depth questions about a product or a service, just go to their support team or sales team, and they'll be able to answer in-depth questions about the product or service you're interested in, and then you'll be able to, access it through TechSoup at a donated or discounted rate. And the services, TechSoup services, what we developed to help support you guys. So if there is ever a situation where you need some download and installation support, migration support, you need to figure out, what you want to put on your computer, all that good stuff is going to be available through the TechSoup services catalog, which I did put in a couple links for that landing page Nick went over, a TechSoup support article that goes over stuff, and also the catalog. We can kind of start poking around offers. So, I highly recommend checking out the services. You're welcome to contact TechSoup customer service, which is the account management group, whenever you'd like with questions, but just be prepared. We may point you back towards the partner, or we may point you towards support services to make sure we're getting you where you need to go. Next slide, please. Awesome. So we do have 2 articles for how to connect with us. TechSoup at the beginning of 2024 switched from having a phone call center and an email alias and all of that to offering support through a live chat on our website. As a nonprofit ourselves, we are always looking to utilize our resources the best we can, and we found that live chat was our best pathway for supporting our members. So if you're ever curious what the hours of operation are, where is that live chat? We've got 2 great articles. So how do I connect our contact TechSoup customer service? That's where I usually recommend starting. And then if you're having any issues connecting with our live chat, we are typically open and available 7 a.m. to around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday. We are closed or Monday through Thursday. We are closed on the weekends, and we do have a short day on Fridays. So we are open pretty much every weekday. And if we are ever closed, we do have closures called out on these articles as well. So definitely recommend checking out these 2 articles if you're having trouble connecting with us. And something to note for this month is that TechSoup does like to give our employees time off to observe and enjoy the holidays. So we do have a winter break that occurs from December 25th to January 1st, and that will be when live chat is not available. We will have some folks still working on qualifications to ensure we're getting people going as needed. But if you have any questions, get to us on the live chat before the 25th, or just hold tight until we reopen on the 2nd at 7 a.m. Next slide, please. And last but not least was just some screenshots just showing you an example of what our help widget looks like, which is where you will access TechSoup support articles and our live chat. And it does call out those hours of operations at the top, which we do edit as things change, things happen, holidays pop up, all that stuff. So all that information is in that little window that you'll access when you need to connect with us. Next slide. And
All
that is
right,
all
thanks.
she wrote for me, folks. I just want to thank you again for coming in, and I look forward to me and my team working with you in the future. Welcome to TechSoup all.
And next, I want to bring up Kevin Mulhall. Kevin works in a different part of TechSoup, and their specialty is around helping you deal with the actual technology products that you may be working with. And we call them customer success, but they have a lot of different names, I think. And take it away, Kevin.
Thanks, Nick. Yeah, so following up from what Nick had said earlier and some things that Kelly had mentioned, the TechSoup customer success team is kind of that conduit, right? So to the bullet that was on 2 previous slides ago, around questions around the products themselves, that is one of the services that our team provides. Understanding a product from A to Z is not the easiest thing. Nick had brought up Adobe earlier. While we don't necessarily consider ourselves SMEs on everything, it is our job or responsibility to understand not only the acquisition of a product through our catalog, but the successful adoption. And that's what we're here to engage with customers about. So a little bit about us. Between our team, we have over 20 years of helping serve the nonprofit sector, specifically the technology piece. Where we shine again is understanding the products and services that are available through us. Some folks had already emailed me regarding the product catalog, which is great, and some had set some times with me, so I'm looking forward to talking with some of you later this week. We are a group of certified technology professionals, AWS, GCP, Microsoft. Really where we kind of, again, sit in between managed service and general support is really as in an advisory capacity. We're there to provide insights, actionable items, but we are not there to perform full managed services. We are there to help you understand what services you need, which is critical, as I'm sure many people will acknowledge. Not to be over purchasing, not to be over provisioning, not to be over subscribing. We are there to advise on that end. So specifically around the value-added services, and these are, I want to mention, something that is a part of Quad and our Quad membership community, are things like technology audits. What do you have? Let's take a look at it. Are there products that you can get rid of? Are there products that you can onboard? We're here to take an agnostic approach to how you operate and how you do business from a technology lens. Things around RFPs, scopes of works, grant fundraising strategies, as well as, again, non-managed advisory services. We are there to make sure that the products that you use, you're able to successfully onboard and use to advance your mission. So that's it for me. It's pretty straightforward on what we are. So I'm going to kick it back to you, Nick.
Great. Thanks, Kevin. Thank you, Kelly. And thanks, everybody who attended today's session. In respect for everybody's calendars, we're going to try to hold this to 40 minutes here. And I just want to say a couple of parting things here. The first is I wanted to thank you not just for your time, but, everybody on this call has made a specific decision to work in the nonprofit sector. And there are a lot of different reasons why that happens, but almost always I find that it comes down to people's desire to make a difference in their community, to do meaningful work, to do something that they think matters. And I think that says a lot about each person on the call because in some way you're doing that through your choice of vocation as well. Like I said, TechSoup's primary mission really is here to help you build a more equitable planet by using technology to do that. I hope you found some of the things that we shared today helpful. And last, I want to say, like we do know historically, there are plenty of folks who attend this webinar who are not yet TechSoup members. So if you have not not yet joined TechSoup and added your nonprofit to TechSoup's member roles, please do that today if you want to use some of these services and products that we talked about. If you go to the webpage, TechSoup.org, the top right-hand corner, there's a big join button. Go click that button if you haven't done it already. Get us your information, and then let's start working together. With that, I want to say thank you to all of you for attending today. Thanks for my fellow panelists. And I'm going to let you go here in 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.